This is TWiT.
Facebook announced that the group of scientists in 2012 basically did a study that plays with our emotions. They decided to pick 689 and 3,000 different people who spoke English to kind of manipulate their feed and really decide what it is that they'd see, what it is they wouldn't see, whether it was happy posts or negative posts, and decide what from that was their response. And so there's a lot of controversy. And I think as an advertiser, it's something that we've done before when we try to alter people's perceptions. But is it a lot different when people don't know this is happening to them? What do you say, Bob?
We've never done anything like this before. We've never, ever manipulated people. Advertising is so pure. It's like the white-driven snow. We never do anything like this. I mean, this is such a non-story when it comes down to it. Everybody's getting upset, and I think it's because it's a slow news week that people are having a big issue about this. There's nothing to write about. Even Ad Age has gone to their bi-weekly schedule.
I disagree, Bob.
Yeah, no, I think you're minimizing something that could set a very dangerous precedent. Imagine if we did this in the news business and said, let's just F with people and see if we can only do positive stories and see if our viewers want to kill themselves. Oh, they didn't? Well, then that experiment didn't work that way.
That's a little bit of heavy rhetoric there, Natalie. I mean, think about it. They didn't try to make people kill themselves. What they did was say, can we make them feel a little happier, a little sadder? They're in the business of emotions. They're not in the business of delivering news, even though now they are.
Even your responsibility? Shouldn't you take personal responsibility for whether or not you're making someone feel sad? There's research already out there that shows that Facebook can lead to depression because people take it to heart. It's like going out into the social world and you stack yourself up against the people that you see. This study in particular was done when I was in my 3rd trimester of my last pregnancy. I didn't need very much to push me off the edge. If they would have put some negative news in my feed at that time, already Facebook was super depressing. Then my husband could sue them for emotional manipulation because I was a monster at this point. I would not have taken that well. And I think there are a lot of people that didn't. And I think that Facebook has to take responsibility for that. And how many times do we see them doing things that are like, that's a little creepy? And they're always like, oh, what? Really? You don't like that?
Oh, but
well, it's like an abusive relationship where, the first couple of times they do something and we forgive them and we get used to it. They're training us, like Pavlov's dog, to get used to this idea that they're going to manipulate us. But I would agree with you, Natalie. I think it's kind of scary thinking about where this can go in the future. I mean, how are they going to manipulate us in the future to maybe vote for things or act a certain way? It's one thing, I think, A/B testing, right, which was referred to in the chat room. This goes far beyond that. What would you say, Frank?
Well, I was going to say this is not A/B testing. There's a clear intent here that's not there. You're not trying to manipulate one's overall emotions with your A/B testing of whether they'll choose this link or that link. This is a very different scenario. So I think there's a can of worms that's open here. Now, that all being said, the general users, they don't care that much. I think, the people making a big deal of it are the academics, people in the media, us social media talking heads. But that's where the big deals are being made. I don't think that's an issue. What is a big issue, in my view, is this brings to the forefront the number one issue that Facebook has. Facebook is not trusted and hasn't been. There's studies that show that. The fact is the general user is just now realizing that there's an algorithm, that they don't see everything their friend says. They only see pieces. And now it's bringing that to highlight. I think that's going to be an issue.